Good day, everyone. This is Group 20. I and my group members are here to talk on the topic employment communication. What is employment communication? Employment communication revolves around written communication and conversation between employee and job seekers. So I'll hand over to my colleagues here to tell us more on employment communication.
The employer communicates with the job seekers or prospective talents concerning the company's culture, vacancies, perks and benefits, and securities of the company, etc. Also, the employers use creative measures to attain or retract the best talent. The prospective candidate communicates with the job seeker, with the employer concerning their interests and willingness to work with through different mediums. Employment communication is the viable way or ways through which the job seeker persuades the employer to hire him or her by demonstrating his or her knowledge, expertise, and skills in the best job requirements in the best possible manner. Being an aspirant of a job, there are various stages to pass through to get the job.
I'm here to talk about the stages to get a job. An aspirant for a job has to pass it through various stages to get a job. One, CV, which is also known as curriculum vitae. Curriculum vitae comprises of one, personal information about the aspirant. One, the email, name, date of birth, origin, and nationalities. One, we have the phases curriculum vitae, which is of Latin word, which means courses of life. It was invented in 1962. So I'm talking about the components of good CV. A good CV must act as an identity card for an applicant entry into various organizations. It should include the skills, levels, degrees he or she has acquired in the previous organizations, work, schools, or any university he or she went to. For personal details, we have personal details contains address, email, phone numbers, marital status, nationality, date and place of birth, and also addition of social media accounts, not of personal use. We have educational qualifications. This contains the qualifications in a chronological order with authentic data. Work experience, the experience he or she has in the field of that particular work he or she is about to apply for. Skill summary, he or she may have acquired some skill in the previous organization he or she has worked at. Knowledge of languages, may have knowledge of Latin, Dutch, English, French, and so on. Interests and other activities, either hobbies, what you like to do in your spare of time, it also has to be included in your CV.
So how does the resume work? Resume is a French word which means summary. Resume means the summary of the applicant's like educational background, like professional skills, skills that may include like leadership skills or communication skills, like the previous jobs and personal interests. However, a resume does not like list out all the details of the applicant's information. Just like highlight like some specific skills like the educational background, the professional qualification, and it aims at presenting a personalized document that must be fully groomed using applicant's effective writing skills. So a resume tests the applicant's writing skills. So this is like the first like center of attraction that will catch like the employer's eyes. A resume should be precise and factual, where each sentence needs to be authentic and not done up beyond the value. So a resume should not be like too broad. It should be simple and short. So what are the advantages of a well-written resume? So it is, like I said, it is the first tangible contact with the applicant prospective employer. So this a resume is like the first point of contact that your employer is going to go through. And if you don't have a catchy resume, it might disqualify you from getting the job. Though a resume or CV might not be the sole basis for hiring deserving candidates, but it could be the reason for early rejection because, like I said, your resume is the first point of contact for your employer, and when your resume is not catchy enough, it might be like the reason for early rejection. Your resume should be designed in a drafted in ways that attract the eyes of the employer, who usually spends a little time on each resume. Because your employer has to go through lots of works and files and CVs. So if your resume is not like catchy enough, they are just going to throw off the employer's attention, and it provides the opportunity to highlight unique skills. So in your resume, the applicant can like highlight specific skills like your leadership skills, your communication skills, your what you can offer. Like everything should be like a summary in the resume.
How does about data work? About data is a short form for biographical data. It mainly contains personal facts about a person. Personal facts include date of birth, father's name, mother's name, gender, complexion, religion, marital status, permanent address. It also includes educational background, professional background, skills, hobbies, interests, strengths, potential and achievement. It is a traditional document used for applying for job. Biodata also helps in marital communication.
Do's and don'ts of a resume. In this session, I'll be speaking about the do's and don'ts that should be considered in a resume or a CV. Contain your CV with a reasonable length. Your CV should be true and factual. Your employment background should begin with your current job and work backwards. List all relevant qualifications. Do not include negative or irrelevant information. Do not use a type size less than 11 points. Do not include pages, closure, testimonial, reference, newspaper, and bronchures. Do not allow any spelling or grammatical errors. Include at least one lecturer and at least one employer. To stress upon the key points in a resume, put them in an appropriate headings, list them vertically, and provide details.
The job application letter, what's the job application letter? It is the cover letter which is attached to the applicant's resume or CV. It is the letter in document that is attached in the application. It provides a brief account on the interest of the applicant in the job. Now, a effective application letter explains what the reasons for the applicant's interest in the organization and in the job in question. The application letter communicates to the employer about the position the applicant is interested in and the job as well. Tips for effective job application letter: always attach a covering letter even if it is not asked for. Use a formal letter format. Provide concrete evidence of your proven skills with recent instances. Be conscious and stick most to the essential points. Be honest and sincere in your approach. Edit thoroughly before you document. Next slide. Components of a good job application letter. The following are different components of a good application letter: the applicant's residential address, the date, the employer's address, salutation, which is dear Mr. or Mrs. then surname, and if a surname is not given, we write dear HR manager. The body of the letter, the first paragraph that explains the reason for writing the letter, the second paragraph that showcases the skills and things that are fit for the job, the last paragraph are the thank you address and couple of lines for the applicants to follow up, then the signature.
Job interview is a formal meeting at which somebody is being asked a question in order to find out if it's suitable for the job of employment. So it is one of the globally acceptable device for employees selection. Even if a job is challenging and time consuming for the applicant, even if a job interview is challenging experience for the applicant and time consuming exercise for the employer, it plays a important role in determining if the employer and the candidate will make an effective match. However, a candidate appearing for an interview is suggested to get through the screening test upon his or her application letter and CV. The importance of job interview. Interview is where a candidate can make a good impression. It provides a great deal of value for the company and the candidate alike. It serves as a two-way medium for the exchange of information. It provides a selling point, it provides a selling opportunity for the organization as well as the candidate. The employer can analyze the communication skill of the candidate from the interview. It is the only method of direct contact between the candidate and the employer. It also enables the employer to obtain some information about the candidate which might not be available in the CV, e.g. his perception about the company, about his future of the company, and some issue that which
How to crack the interview. Interview is a stage where there is an invisible battle fought between the interviewer and the interviewee, where one tries best to eliminate the other, as they have to choose a few best candidates among them. The interview wants to obtain the job of his or her choice. It is not as tough as it appears. To successfully go through the interview, one can play skillfully in the interview if he or she is well aware of his or her actions and behaviors before and during the interview. Useful tips for success in the interview. Thank you note or a thank you letter is a letter of thanks sent to the interviewer after you return from your interview. It is a follow-up communication to be sent to the interviewer immediately or much before the evaluation of interviewed candidates is over. It has a positive impact on your chance of being selected for the job in question. According to surveys, most recruiters consider a thank you note or a thank you letter influential while evaluating the candidate. It is important to know that many applicants don't think it's necessary to send a thank you note after the interview, as the timing of the thank you letter is important. Email is the best way to send it. Send a thank you note or a thank you letter to each interviewer if you have been interviewed by a panel of interviewers.
Content of a thank you note. It should be concise and powerful. It should remind the interviewer of specific points that were made during the interview. It compensates for any mistakes that were made during the interview. It also serves as a way to reinforce that you can support the company in any way you can when you are employed. Also, it opens doors for future communication. Sample of a thank you note: your name, your address, your city, state, zip code, phone number, your email, date, name, and title, organization, address, city, state, zip code, and this is just a sample of how it will look like.
In conclusion, effective employment communication is an important feature of organization life. Thank you.